Hi everyone, welcome to Just On Case. Today we have a very special video because we have an interview with Béla Balogh, who has won the Enchanted Tournament Winter Edition in Austria with 128 participants, and he came out victorious with his Ruby Amethyst deck. So let's hear about what he has to say about Lorcana tournaments and some other interesting questions. So welcome, Béla Balogh. Could you start us off by telling something about your TCG background? I know that you played WoW. What brought you here?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, it was a long journey indeed. At first, we started out with a Hungarian TCG with name H-Kiki. It's basically the card of power. Maybe that's a correct translation for it. My friends brought some commons and uncommons, and we fell in love with it, basically. Um, and when we couldn't play, we were thinking about card ideas and just analyzing the meta. And later, when we were looking for international adventures, we switched for WoW TCG. And that period, we were living the dream, traveling around Hungary. But we also did manage to travel within Europe and play in the very different regions. For example, Zagreb, Vienna, and Prague. But this dream, unfortunately, came to an end very soon. And we were quite devastated about it. I tried different card games after that, but I found them less accurate for me. And then came Lorcana and brought me back the fire and the love about it.
Okay, then what about Lorcana that drew you back into the competitive TCG scene?
When I first did manage to have a look at the game, I assumed it has the same analytics, the same motor, and the same method, basically like WoW TCG. And later it turned out that my first impressions were basically correct. Me being a great fan of the Disney World has driven me onto the tables quite soon. So
you're a fan of the IP first and then the mechanism?
yeah, sure. Yes.
So side question. So what is your favorite Disney IP movie that you would like to see in the game?
I have a lot, but probably I would be interested in a card of the Hunchback of Notre Dame with the gargoyles.
Do you have an idea of what could they do?
I don't know. I leave that question up to the game designers and story narratives. I don't know. I like to play, but
so it's important to mention that you're from Hungary and the game is not out yet in Hungary. So how do you find people to play with, or how do you manage to practice for tournaments?
Although it is not officially out, there is a big community, I would say that, with lots of passionate players and we really love collecting and playing it already. There is more and more player to come, and we have also Pixelborn, where we can easily connect and play remotely. That is a big help indeed. There are also local tours, and we find a way to make in-person testings before the tour. But yeah, Pixelborn is a great help for sure, because we also live across the country, and And for example, we have a countryman Gabor who lives in the Netherlands, but we also have players from Pécs and Kecskemét, and me as myself also don't live in Budapest. So Pixelborn is a big help. But you're also calling from?
Yeah, I am also Hungarian, but I am from
I
living
know
in the
that,
UK.
but
So yeah, so there is a very nice welcoming community. I think the majority is already used to playing TCGs, but me as a new TCG player, I feel very welcome. Okay, so is the Pixelborn ladder where you practice most, or is it more like you arrange games to practice with against different specific decks you want to check your deck against?
I would say both. I've tested out my deck in the ladder, the custom game room where we can play against the definite deck which we want to test against, and of course the definite player we want to play against. So so it's a quite big help. Yeah.
I remember you said in the Legendary Loot channel that you practiced a lot of these mirror matches. And so why did you decide on like focus on practicing mirror matches instead of trying a deck that may be stronger against the meta?
I'm a control player. I have always been. I guess it's for me the opportunity to have the more options. That is something that I will always look for. And as soon as, for example, with the new expansion, there will be new cards out that will give me this option. I will change in no minute. But as for this meta, I have the most options with this deck, I feel. And I think this is the most stable deck right now. Basically, yes, I will always look for the most opportunities, and I found that in this version. But if you look at this tournament precisely, my opponent in the final has beaten 3 of this red purple deck just in the top 16. So it's not unbeatable. And one more statistics that, as I've seen, it was like 50 something of this deck in the whole picture, and there was only basically 50% of the top 16 playing red purple. So that means 45 or something of this deck didn't manage to win 5. So I guess this picture is not that bad. I mean, there is we could see that there is indeed a meta, and not just the rule of one deck going around.
Well, Ruby Amethyst is still kind of dominating, like as you mentioned, almost half of the decks were Ruby Amethyst, but maybe it just needs a bit more time to, like, new decks are popping up that are viable. Maybe just some tacking to get them right there. Your opponent was in the spotlight. I think you were only in the spotlight for like what was streamed on the final. So I did see that Amber still win against the Ruby Amethyst. It was a 2-1, I think, but yeah, it seemed like he had the upper hand. So what do you think in your game, because you won 2-0 against this deck, that was different, that you got the win in the end?
Honestly, I did not have the opportunity, unfortunately, to look at my opponent's game. So I don't know what could be happening before. we met. But one more interesting thing that in the top 16, I was playing more steel songs than mirrors. That is also a data that could be useful. Um, we played a really good game with Pavel. It was a really enjoyable one. Um, and and yes, if I will have the opportunity to somehow watch it back what he played before, I will definitely do that. But I don't know about the games he played, so I don't know what could be different.
So is Ember still the biggest threat to Ruby Amethyst right now, or is it the discard
Oh,
deck?
yep, it's a discard deck, definitely.
I think
Definitely.
you also played against one in the top
Yep,
16.
yep. Before the match, when I saw that he will be my opponent, I for a moment I thought that maybe this is the end of the journey. But after that, I did manage to get through that emotional roller coaster and stabilize my place in the final. But definitely, I guess for me at least, it is the biggest threat. Yep.
I also saw that another Hungarian guy was kind of playing a similar
Yeah.
Emerald Steel deck,
Correct.
so maybe you were
Yes.
prepared against those decks as well? Or it was a secret and you didn't share what your specific card list is?
We were sharing everything with each other. I could not be prepared for it because I was weaker. I was definitely weaker. I wouldn't be able to tell you that by the time we arrived, I had the perfect solution. I've had guesses on what should I do, but I did not have like absolute solutions for it because I knew that that's gonna be a matchup that is not the great for me. So so yeah, it was mind games. It was we were tired at that time. Maybe we were playing like 12 hours by that time. So yeah,
So it's the tournament started at 9, I assume, and it ended around midnight. So or
yeah.
so that
Maybe
sounds
we
like a,
started around 10, but otherwise you're right. Yes.
I think the final was around 11 midnight-ish. So how
Yeah.
does one prepare for such a challenging day?
Well, with enthusiasm and with basically knowing your deck by heart and having analyzed all the options that you could have and all the decisions that you can make and basically in the tournament you just trying to get the most value out of your cards, but otherwise the rest of the work is before the tour.
Okay, first of all, then congratulations to this one. Very nice trophy you got in the background.
Thank you.
Are you happy with these sort of pricing, or what are your hopes for the OP or the Ravensburger organized tournaments to be?
I'm really satisfied with the pricing. I'm in love with this cup. I think the organizers did a fantastic job, so cheers. I'm really looking forward to what is coming. We will see. I don't know much about it right now.
Have you seen the Stitch Enchanted?
Yeah, I do like it.
That sounds like a good direction to go in.
Yeah, definitely.
On the track of tournaments, what are your thoughts on maybe introducing a sideboard?
Honestly, I don't feel like that could be a good idea because uh, in this meta, it is great that you have to build a deck that has all the solutions needed for you first right away and in your deck. I don't feel like it could be good anyhow to have a sideboard. If you think about the time limit, we have 50 minutes, and we also shuffle a lot. And even in this version, there are much draws. So if we have like a sideboard, this could like raise the number of draws and mostly unwanted ones. So I would not be happy with it, but of course, if the game will decide that we will have one should be accustomed to it. Me personally don't like the idea, but
So you don't like the idea if the meta diversifies and there are so many like decks that you have counters for, it just doesn't, all of them doesn't fit. It just personally, I don't have a lot of TCG, so the idea seems nice or neat to be more controlled even on non-controlled decks. But yeah, we'll see. There is a lot of talk about ban lists in the community right now. What are your thoughts about those?
I also don't find that a good idea because mainly the reason we got through, I don't think that is overpowered. If you are talking about the Goat Club, I assume, right?
Some people say Be Prepared should be banned, but that I don't agree with.
Well, I don't think that it is a good idea because we got through that if there is a given deck with like 50 or so samples and 45 did not manage to get 5 out of 7, and you can see a colorful meta in the top 16 even. And you can see a deck that has basically 3 wins against one copy. It shows that that there is indeed a meta, and one can find the balance, I guess. But the Inkland will show us more about this. And yeah, I'm personally against it, but there could be any other decisions as well.
What are your thoughts on banning the whole new world? I think that's like the goat, the fox, Be Prepared, and the whole new world are what people are thinking valid options for that list.
I don't think these cards are unbeatable. I think they've created a nice balance with basically 4 to 6 playable decks, and you can see a deck in the top 16 with $68. And huge shout out, cheers to that, because that is even a great example of one's dedication and work before these events. And this deck, for example, didn't use any beasts. Had I think had 1 copy of Whole New World, but yeah. So if one invests in the work before the tour, there shouldn't be any issues with I think one given card being overpowered right now. But that is just an opinion, of course. I don't have absolute truth. So
Also, maybe people will be incentivized to start deck decking as more and more tournaments, especially Ravensburger supported tournaments, will start rolling in. You mentioned Into the Inkland, so are you already looking at the cards that are being revealed and thinking about maybe improving your Ruby Amethyst deck? Or, well, you mentioned you're a Contra player, so maybe you won't jump ships, but what are your thoughts?
By heart, I would say, yeah, I have something in mind, but it's always like we do have to wait for the big picture, because one card that is out, for example, can just start a whole conception in one's head. And yeah, I'm really curious. As I've said, I will always look for the most options and stability. For me, the most options and stability is the key when building a deck. So I'm ready to investigate all the cards and just personalize something and then test it until it fits me like 100%, and probably I will stick to it until the new expansion comes out.
Is there a card that already caught your eye and you're thinking about, oh, maybe the item deck works now, or actions?
Well, there are more, but I would keep that to myself right now.
Okay. Another thought some people were having when Into the Inklands was announced is the game is ready for a completely new card type, namely locations. What are your thoughts? Do location have a space here?
I hope they won't be vulnerable. That was my first impression. I think they are really interesting. It is a good idea. And I honestly hope that they will be playable. As for the story, it is a huge idea, and I really like it. As for competitive games, we will see how much they could fit in.
So the successful story for location would be if you can't be competitive without them, or how does this usually work?
Well, I don't know. I hope they will work for sure, because they are indeed interesting, and I think they have also the potential. What is probably also important, that it provides you also story narrative and an enjoyable play for sure. But we will see how much they could fit in the decks in the competitive meta. I don't know much about it right now.
They announced that there will be a World Championship in 2025. Is that the goal? Like the road towards that is what you wanna walk on?
Yes.
Okay, well then, good luck, and hope to see you in future events, especially in person that we haven't met yet. And any final thoughts?
To the new players, come and play Lorcana.
Some final tips for how to be a competitive player for people who never been to TCGs.
Well, just play and just stick to your instincts and test out and personalize until it fits you, and then play, 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 and play.
With that, thank you very much for coming, and for everyone, as Béla said, play, 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 and for that, happy loring, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.